All right. Number 3, all 613 laws do not apply to me. Why? Well, because I'm a man. The law that applies to a woman's menstrual cycle, that she would be ceremonially unclean for a few days or whatever, and that don't apply to me. Okay, you understand why. Number 4, the principle of God's law remains the same. The application can change. All right, the principle of the law remains the same. It always remains the same. The application can change. The sacrifice of a lamb to the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. The Lamb, behold, the Lamb that takes away the sin of the world. I mean, I can't give you a more beautiful example than the principle of God's law remains the same, but the application, how we apply it, we're not out sacrificing animals today. Why? Because Jesus Christ became our sacrificial lamb. All right. Exodus 21, verse 23. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, an ox or an ass fall therein, and the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. This is basic common sense about digging a pit. One day I was riding my dirt bike as a teenager through the woods in a wide trail, and some farmer had gone in there. I didn't see no posted sign, but I guess he had one. And he dug with a backhoe this big 8-foot deep pit, hoping, I guess, I'd fall in it. If I'd have fallen in it, I would have broken my neck. But I dodged it. Okay. What's this verse saying? He says, this verse is saying, just because you don't want someone on your land, don't, put your posted sign up, but don't do stupid things. Like dig a big hole and make it so nobody can see it. A trap, which is basically what the thing was like. Don't do that, okay? You would become, if I would have broken my neck, he would have become responsible for me. Burn for burn, breaking neck for breaking neck, I guess, whatever. Death for death, okay? All right. Okay, Deuteronomy 22 and verse 8. When you build a house, then you shall make a battlement for the roof, that you bring not blood upon your house if any man fall therein. In other words, up on the house, they had flat roof homes. They're up there drinking in the cool of the day, a glass of wine or whatever. The principle of God's law remains the same, but the application can change. Okay, the principle of this law is actually built into our building codes. If you build a deck off the ground so many inches, you got to put a railing around it. Okay, we don't put railings on A-roof homes, but that's because it's not necessary. But it's just to keep people safe. So we could say these laws that, that not in the 10 at all, a lot of these laws we're still keeping because they're built into our building code. We still keep these laws of safety. There's certain laws about electricity, that you just can't rig something. You got to think about the next person that comes along that buys your house. You don't want him to get electrocuted. Okay, you don't want him to fall through the toilet or anything like that. You want to take care of your stuff. All right. So we still keep these laws. So when Jesus said, "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled," I mean, he's talking about the law. He's talking about doing the right thing.
Check us out on the web at isthatreallyinthebible.com.